I normally make a song when I started till I finish just is a couple of hours, so it's a very fast process. And when I work on an album, for instance, I often have a concept like the title and the artwork in mind already, so I'm kind of working towards a unit. And yeah, it's just the easiest way for me to do it. If I involve more people, it normally takes more time. So it's more a matter of time than anything else. Because it's only me, I don't have some big firewall protecting me from the rest of the world. So I sometimes feel very vulnerable because it's very personal, and also, you know, being around a lot of people always, I'm kind of like a shy person. So it's important to me to remain like to have an integrity and not let things get out of hand. And that's why also, by doing everything myself, I slow down the process of like things getting out of hand. And that's something I really want to do because it's more important that I write songs than anything else. I had taken a break from music 1 year, and when I was working on the album, I wanted it to be, I didn't want to make an album until I felt that I was able to say something very optimistic and positive about the world. And at the time, it just seemed really depressing. So I had to take some time to kind of find a good place in myself before I could finish the album. And once I did, I think that feeling really comes across, this kind of being ready for an adventure type of feeling. Well, when I'm traveling, I have a notebook, and I often make notes and a type of diary, which is, you know, fun for me myself to be able to go back and see what was going on in my life at a certain point, but also a collection of ideas and inspiration and things I see and hear that might just get lost other times. But when I start writing a song, it's often that I have one sentence or a title that I want to work around, and then I just throw myself in there and associate freely. And it's very sort of intuitive in the process. Just been recording so many songs that at some point I thought it made sense to make a record out of it, like an album. And so I just collected my favorite songs together, and I burned it on the CDR, and I gave it to friends, and I played a few smaller shows, and I would sell the CD. I also had started a website so people could order the CD, but at that time I didn't get any orders. But it was like a very fun time because there was no expectations on my work, and I was very free to do whatever I wanted because it was just coming out of the blue. And the people who liked it, and the people who didn't, it didn't matter because I was still like just trying things out. So it was a very fun time as an artist to be fresh and new, like a beginner. Well, I actually started writing songs after I moved to Berlin, and I was writing them for myself, but it was also a kind of thing where I would write a song, and then when I get together with my friends on a Friday, I'd play them the song I'd made that day, and we'd like party and listen to the song. So it was always something I made to sort of share with people, so it didn't feel too strange for me to suddenly, you know, put it up on internet, for instance. It was a very sort of natural progression. That song is one of my favorites from the new album, and I thought it was a very important thing to, you know, be able to write a song about, because I was thinking about it a lot in my life and experiencing the privileges that I have and gaining new privileges that I suddenly didn't know what to do with, and, you know, what's going on in the world and in Europe and also in the U.S. On the news, we see a lot about this, you know, how the world is breaking in a good way, that people who before were not heard, and like minorities or people who were just on the fringe of society, like have a voice now through the internet, and that is a positive thing, but it also makes everyone think more about their own position in all this. And the video, I wanted to be very focused on the lyrics because I wanted it to be very clear what I was, you know, trying to express. And yeah, I'm very happy with the outcome of that. I've been working on it for quite a long time, and during that time there were a lot of different ideas of what the album was going to become, and it wasn't until the very end that it all came together. And I think it's a very playful album. I think there's a lot of funny things in it. Funny as in not jokes, but there's a lot of ideas that are just coming out of um, trying to not take myself so seriously and break my own taboos a little bit. And I think it was a good, you know, it was a good progression for me to think of it as a bad album that I was working on. Instead of thinking that I have to make a masterpiece, I was thinking I'm just going to make something and we'll see what it is. But in the end, I think it is a little masterpiece anyway. So.